Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalrin, hanging out in Pandaria by the train dummies, actually not even close. And today I want to take a look at all of the changes happening to rogues and give you guys the final answer as one video instead of making a bunch of these to the question of how rogues going to be in 7.3. Now I know what everybody's thinking, at least from what my comment section. Who's been telling people that rogues are getting nerfed? Because this is what my comment section looks like. One of you fuckers has been telling everybody, oh, rogues are getting nerfed, because everybody's like all of a sudden, hey Dal, are rogues getting nerfed? Hey Dal, are rogues getting nerfed? I'm afraid rogues are getting nerfed. Hey Dal, can we talk about rogue nerfs that are coming soon? What nerfs are we talking about? Like, I'm looking at MMO Champion, I'm looking at Wowhead, I'm looking at everything available at all times. So I'll just do the big old thing to seal it all down and put it in the goddamn coffin and let it die off there. Are rogues getting nerfed? What are the changes in rogues? I just go over everything. For PvP, but somewhat PvE perspective, because I kind of PvE, some of you guys care about PvE, but most of you PvP, so it doesn't really matter. Let's start them in the order of classes I really care about. Outlaw. How is Outlaw going to be? They basically made these talents weaker. They made everything else baseline stronger, like very slightly. So most people won't even notice the difference. Then we have Assassination, and I'm pretty sure nothing actually got changed within the towns themselves. Did it get also the aura changes a little bit for them, so that every time you deal damage to somebody, you deal slightly less damage, I guess? But it's not really it doesn't completely make you impossible to, you know, play. It still keeps you viable, it keeps you as an open option, but I don't know, it's a PvE change more than anything. I tried to understand these changes, and I really don't like the whole aura system. I guess it solves some issues, but also creates others. But generally, you're not getting too many changes happening to Assassination in general. Now, Subtlety, I mean, they recently went through a big change in 7.2.5, so I don't really see anything massive happening here. They did adjust their numbers, I'm pretty sure. The rogues just got changes, and they really do class balancing in 7.2.5. If anything, I could suggest, give us some new honored towns. Like, for example, we have Thieves Gambit, that was an awesome addition. We have Dagger in the Dark and Cold Blood, that was awesome. We have Thieves Bargain, which... Now hello everybody, and welcome to your rogue conversion therapy. Now that Blizzard decided to nerf our favorite spec, we just gotta pick up the next best thing that's coming out in 7.3. Pharaohs are getting a lot of good buffs, so we all are gonna have to just move on so we can still be OP. Now, some of the things you'll need to start playing your new your new rogue. First thing you wanna do is go to a toy box and get yourself an item. Any item that makes you stay in a humanoid-like form, anything to resemble a rogue, so it doesn't feel all that different and all that weird. For example, I always want to be a Tauren with daggers, so now I can be a Tauren with daggers. Just look at this, I have a dagger and an axe, basically a combat rogue from back in the day. Now, you are gonna have to change some of your abilities, just a little bit, but it's a really simple fix. You don't actually need to learn how to play a feral, because a feral is an Assassination Rogue and a Subtlety Rogue all in one. All you need to do is just change some of your abilities. Alright, there we go. It only took me a good 20 minutes, a couple minutes to do this. It didn't take me too long. Alright, so you have all these abilities like Shred, Rake, Thrash, Rip, Ferocious Bite, Tiger's Fury. All these things are confusing. All these things are not rogue. Rogues are cool, but not some tree huggers. Just to make this much simpler for you as a transition, all you need to do is make every single one of these abilities and then just change the icon. Like for example, Rip, what does it do? You don't even read it. You don't need to read, you just need to kill things. Bam. Now, it is exactly the same ability. It's cast Rip. You have your Rake. What does it do? Exactly the same thing as Garrote. If you are in stealth and you get a rake, it deals more damage. Otherwise, it just deals decent damage. How about your ferocious bite? Ooh, that sounds like an eviscerate. Tread? Looks like a shadow strike. Prowl? We have a better prowl. We have stealth. I couldn't find the stealth icon. This is good enough. And then now you can play feral. Except you'll want to make sure to, you know, make sure that that also exists when you're out of cat form. But either way, you see a target? Let's get ourselves into stealth. And then let's get him with the garrote. Look at that, just like a garrote. Build up a few combo points with some shadow strikes in there. Free shadow strikes into a rip. We get a stun. We get a drone rush for a moment. Bam, shadow strike. Bam, shadow strike. Bam, shadow strike. Oh, look at that. We get a heal. Regrowth. What does that do? Boom. Now it makes sense. It's a heal. It has exactly the same icons. How about we go for that big old abilities, big old damage of all of everything that I got. Oh, big old. Yes, 1,000,000.5 eviscerate. Not a tiger's bite, eviscerate with all the damage. And yes, it will take us a little bit to adjust, but as long as we run in non-feral form, and as long as we don't look at feral abilities, we're basically a rogue. And then we have this wall thing, I'm not really sure. I guess I could go find a macro for, what is that ability we used to have? We actually used to have wall combat readiness. Oh, that'd be kind of cool, or evasion, except that's not really evasion. But this is how rogues are gonna transition. Thank you, Blizzard, so much for screwing up the best class in the game. Let's be honest, we saw this nerf coming. Subtlety rogues were really good with Thieves Bargain, and this ability needed to be adjusted. I feel like this is a lot better than adjusting rogue as a whole. Now, what does Thieves Bargain change? For 5-5-1-1 duels, which is what we like to do, rogues are gonna have to be a little bit more careful when they vanish. You can't really just vanish offensively, because it does add you now 15 extra seconds where you can't vanish. Catch and re-stealth is gonna be more important. I feel like in 2v2s, rogues and with a healer, with a caster, I feel like a lot more classes are going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to actually score a kill against rogues instead of having to deal with a 30-second vanish. We have classes like warlocks, like affliction, who have, you know, they can silence you twice, you know, first silence, then you have the pet silence, so back-to-back silences are pretty cancerous. In a way, Thieves Bargain and 30-second vanishes could be seen as kind of cancerous. So this had to be adjusted. You either adjust the damage of the class or the mechanic. And I feel like this is a fair change. This had to be changed, especially with just how strong Subtlety rogues are. With that being said, this is everything that's happening to rogues. So enjoy the new gear that you'll be getting, this new fancy gear that we'll be all wearing. I actually like it a lot. I want to get the elite version. That'd be so dope. And enjoy your Thieves Bargain change, which is not that bad of a change, really. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.